Yes.
What's up, kid?
Yes. What's going on, bro?
Chilling, man. How
Good
you
to see you,
doing?
man. Come on in, bro.
I finally made it,
Hey,
bro.
you finally made it, man. We got it now.
But I work for 7 stations.
Okay, so I'm
There's
just gonna have
seven.
you list them off.
There's 7 stations that I work for.
Let's go crazy.
Yeah, so I work for Herbert Radio, and here in South Florida, they own 7 stations. So in 7 stations, I do a little bit of everything for each station. And so basically, I'm with WRMF, which is 97.9.
Okay.
I am known to the public as Captain KVJ. And what I do I used to do a segment called Weird Wednesdays. I dress up in costumes and I had to go out there.
So that's why you
gotta
wear a
look for me.
mask.
That's why I wear a
Yeah,
mask.
okay.
But not only that, I'm part of a snack pack group. Basically, Jay Bird has a hip hop like type of music type of thing, like and it's all poking fun about different situations.
Okay.
And I'm a hype guy. So that's what I'm known in my job is I'm a hype guy. I do reception work, pick up the phones, call winners. You hear my voice on the air. I do acting over the air, so I might call and be like, "Hey, how you doing? My name is Mr. Rodman." You know what I'm saying? And different scenarios like that. So basically, I also do work for the country station, New Country 103.1.
Okay.
X 102.3, the home of Steve Harvey. Yeah, Sunny 107.9, they play the hits of like the 80s and 90s, which is the best. 850, which is talk radio. Party 96.3, and 640 Sports, which is Fox Sports.
Okay.
So those are the way I work for those 7 stations.
You staying busy. That's what
I
you doing.
stay busy, man.
Yeah.
I am blessed. I can tell you one thing, I am blessed. But it was a long road to get to where I'm at today. And that's a lot of work that I still need to do to get where I want to be.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm excited to dive into it. But
Yeah.
before we do that, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another episode. It's been a long time coming. I know we've been a little quiet this past month or so, but I've been working on big things here. I got the man, the myth, the legend, Captain KVJ. I know him as Jay. And we actually met through physical therapy,
About 4 months ago.
4 months ago?
Yeah.
And as you just heard earlier, this man is busy. Busy. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna talk about the journey.
Yeah.
Talk about the journey, because clearly, like you had said, you're a known guy, right? You're on the airwaves. It's not like you're just another person,
Right.
So the culmination of that, right? And then that's just the starting point for you, right? You're not even where you want to be yet.
Nah.
And it's cool because I know a little bit of your story, right? From working together.
Right.
We've talked through the past, right? So I know a little bit,
right.
but let's start at the beginning, man.
Yeah.
Let's start at the beginning. how did this all sort of start?
Well, I'm originally from the Bronx, New York, and it all started as a kid. I was always a funny guy. I was always a clown. I wasn't the type of person that never got in trouble. I wasn't like the troublemaker in the class.
Yeah.
I was always like the one who distracted everybody. And so my parents always got the call. I was like, he's talking too much and he's distracting the class. He's a funny guy. We love him, the whole 9 yards. And as time went on, I was trying to figure out what I want to do for the rest of my life. And at first, I was like, I'm gonna be a firefighter. I'm gonna fight fires, be a superhero, the whole 9 yards. Then I thought I was gonna do the military. But then as time went on, that acting bug hit me. And it hit me like around the 4th grade. There was a play. And ironic thing, I played a Easter Bunny. Which years later, I played the Easter Bunny at the malls for Easter time. So it's ironic, it's crazy how things work. So when I got that part, I played the Easter Bunny, was the main character. I don't sing for nothing, but I remember I had to sing, and they wasn't gonna, we don't want to use you. You're a little kid. No, we gotta pass you. You're gonna be in the background. But I was just fighting for that spot. Once I got that spot, it just hit me. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life, this is what I want to make people smile. I want to make myself known to the point where even if I'm known locally, I'm going to be happy because at least I put smiles in one person's face. And that was my goal. And that's how it started. So as time went on, every time there was an opportunity in junior high school, whatever, every time there was like a play or something, I hit it. And the funny thing is, I never even joined the drama class. And I was never in none of those classes, never. I got dyslexia. And I was always in the special ed class. I was always in the learning disability class, but I was always a clown. And it just worked out to my advantage that when I would go places and it was hard for me to read a script, I always memorized the lines by like recording it on the radio and then listening to back. And then when I would go, people would be like, I'll look at the script and read it and you'd be thinking that I'm reading it, but I just memorized it.
Right. Now, do you think, you being a class clown, do you think that was a way to sort of diffuse that situation of dyslexia?
Yeah, it actually it was. Because it was growing up in the Bronx, it wasn't the easiest thing. Like I had a great family. I was never there was always food on the table. I was fortunate that I had a working father and mother who took care of us and everything. But
there's some bulls out there now.
Yo, it's crazy out there. And so basically, in order for me, I was never the bully type.
Right.
But I always diffused. Either bullies used to like me. And the way I used to come across, like let's say if a bully that I knew was harassing somebody, I would make them laugh. And then they would just walk away. So as a young kid, I always had that little, I like the spotlight on me. Let me have that spotlight. And I've always enjoyed it. I'm not stage fright. I'll take the mic and I could rip it. I'm not an MC or anything like that. But give me the mic and I'll do something. I'll do something. I'm a hype guy. That's what I do. So as time went on, then I moved here to South Florida my sophomore year. Okay, I was out there, and you're at that age where you don't want to do school and everything, and your parents got to make the decision what we're gonna do.
Sure.
So what happened was my brother, he has me by 10 years. He had moved here to South Florida. So my parents were like, what are we gonna do? How are we gonna, what's going on? So they decided to send me down here to South Florida. So when I came down here to South Florida, I started going to school. Well, I found South Tech. And I started going to South Tech for TV production. So what I was doing, I was enrolled in high school and I was doing half the time doing tech school and then going to high school at the same time. And it was the best decision that my parents, they had to sacrifice sending me out here in tears because they didn't want to let go of this. At that time, I was 17 years old.
Right. You're young.
I was young.
Very young.
It was like basically they sending me here with their 27-year-old son, which at 27 years old, sometimes now I think about it, it's like
a lot of faith.
Yeah, and you still a kid at heart,
Of course.
big time.
Of course. Especially down here.
Right.
All the temptation we got down here.
I'm telling you, there was a lot of temptation. So basically, that's how I came down. I started doing that, and then I started doing camera work and working in for Florida Championship Wrestling, doing camera work for them. And just little by little, landing little roles here, local commercials here and there. And for about 10 years, I stopped. I stopped for about 10 years.
Why is that?
I got married. And basically, my focus was, okay, I'm not making a living in doing the acting. I'm not getting paid. I'm not known with. A lot of people think, oh, you're an actor. You've done plays or this. No, that doesn't matter. You doing all that stuff, you still got to, pay the bills.
Right.
So basically I decided I was just gonna take another path, and I had a little career on the side. I did pest control, and while I was doing pest control, I was the official mascot for Niles and Nolan Pest Control. So I did the elephant work for them. So on top of that, I still did it, but I still did it in a way where I couldn't really branch out much. But little by little, I started getting myself back into it because I was talking to my father, and he was telling me, don't get to my age and regret and be like, I could have, would have, should have. And I'm like, you know what? Nah, I don't want to be in my 60s thinking I should have done this. And basically, I just jumped back into it. And I started doing with the radio. Radio was a mistake. It was an accident. It was an accident. I made one phone call to a radio station, which is 640 Sports, which is Fox Sports. And I was like, okay, I am known, my nickname is Papa J. When I was doing wrestling and going to school, people will call me Papa J. That's my nickname. So if I was in the Palm Beach Pro, they'd be like, oh, this is Papa J. He's doing this, he's going to school to become a professional wrestler. What people don't understand, while I was going to school to become a professional wrestler, I wasn't paying no dues because I was their cameraman. So it was a paid-off. You know, it was a trade-off. Like, you do my camera work, I'll train you. And that's how it worked out. So basically, I didn't want to call the radio station and be like, this is Papa J. Because what they're going to think is Papa John's. Right. So I was like, what can I, you know. So I started thinking, and at that time I was working in the youth ministry at the church. Okay. And I was basically working with the youth. And so, okay, so how can I combine those two names? So I was like, you know what? Minister PJ. So I called Troy Stratford, and at that time it was the Super Bowl with the first Super Bowl of the New England Patriots and the Rams Giants.
Oh, the Giants in 2007.
So there's a rivalry there, New England, New York. So I was like, okay. So I called, and it was, you know, my parents are from Puerto Rico. So it was Aaron Hernandez. And then the other side was Victor Cruz. Yep. Okay. So it was the first time in history that I know of that two Puerto Ricans go head to head, and they were names.
And in the Super Bowl.
And the Super Bowl. Right. So I remember I called. And I gave him my name, and I was like, Minister PJ. And Troy Stratford, who played for the Dolphins, laughed. And he's like, oh my God, this guy named Minister PJ just called on the air. Okay? But it stuck. Ever since that day, I was a regular caller on that show. And they had an open text line, and I was like, Minister PJ, Minister PJ. So they would read my text. We talked about sports. And then little by little, it was just, I like that, the tension. Wow, this radio thing is really working. Like, I'm nobody, but now I'm Minister PJ. And from that, it led on to me to do Captain KVJ and to work for all these other stations now. So for about 6 years though, I did it for free. I was working, I was on my break calling the station on the download in between houses, doing pest control, like, yo, it's Minister PJ, you know what I'm saying? So I was doing that on the download. Right. And then I started working, now it brings up to the KVJ show.
Now let me stop you real quick before we go there, because I'm curious, right? You talked about that kind of that 10-year sort of layoff, you know, when it seems as though you were really trying to find a foothold, right? Right. Where you were sort of making that transition from, you know, recording, right, for doing camera work, to started getting into that radio sort of setting. Right. And I found it interesting. It seemed as though it looked different on the outside, but internally it was always the same, right? You were always trying to be somebody, right? You were always trying to be known, whether it be locally, nationally, whatever the case may be. Right. What were some of the things that you did, Jay, to sort of remind yourself, right, to keep yourself motivated? Was it the pursuit of the passion? Was it a goal? Was it the vision? You know, what was it for you that kind of kept you streamlined in that seemingly 10-year period? That's a long time. Yeah. 10 years is a long time. Like, you could be very different in a 1-year period of time, let alone 10. Right. So how did you stay in line with what you wanted to do when you were in 4th grade? Right. Right? How did you do that?
Well, once that 10-year period, like when I realized, hey, I gotta get I can't keep on living the way I'm living. I don't want to regret. I gave myself a 5-year plan. I said to myself, I'm gonna give myself 5 years, and I'm gonna start off first doing social media, and then let's see where this goes. Because at that time, I still didn't know what character, you know. I'm a type of person that I do acting, and my acting is basically, I'm a character actor, so I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do and what works. And so I started playing around, you know, putting ingredients here and there, and that's how it worked out for me. So I gave myself a 5-year plan. And after 5 years, I said, you know what? If it doesn't work out, at least I can say, look, I gave for 5 years. Hey. I put it all, it didn't work out, but at least I could say, you know what? I can show my kids, look at this album, look at this, look at what I did, look at what I did. And at least I could say, look, I tried. And I gave it my all.
I love that. That's the whole reason why we're doing this right now. Yeah. Right? Because with this whole, you know, this COVID year, this past year, and then going into this year, you know, it's like that same sort of thing for me. Yeah. You know, I want to die with what if questions. I don't want to be on my deathbed and think to myself, damn, you know, I wish I had done this, or I wish I had done that. Like, if there's something that you want to do, go do it.
Do it.
What's the worst that happens? You fail, and you become better, and you move on.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you don't even try,
right.
Now there's an infinite amount of things that you could have done that you didn't even try.
Right, exactly.
And then why? Why would you do that to yourself, right?
Exactly. And so basically, I'm living the life right now. I can tell you one thing: I'm loving what I do. I am blessed. I don't regret anything. There's been a lot of downfalls throughout my career that, you know, I look back and I say, "Ooh, I made the right choice." But then I realized, you know what? Because I made that choice and it was wrong, I didn't do it again. And basically, I learned from my mistakes and feel like, okay, this is not how I'm gonna do it. Let me try it this way until I got the formula right. And that's where I'm at today, you know. So when it came to like the KVJ show, they were in a transition going from one station to the other, and there was a group of people called the KVJ Nation.
Now, how did you first get into radio, right? Because you went from calling on your break, right? To how did you make your entrance into radio?
All right. So then, after I became I was a regular caller, they started calling me and be like, "Hey, can you call the station?" And that's how people started noticing Minister PJ.
Right.
So the funny thing is, one time the KVJ show was doing like it was a sudden death. Whoever loses has got to put their phone number on the air.
Oh my goodness.
So I remember I was doing pest control at the time, and I was driving and I was like, oh, let me pull over. And I took a pen and Kevin lost. So I got Kevin's number. So I was like, all right, bet. So I just text me back, because that was the whole purpose, you know, but I'm sure he's getting hundreds of people texting him, right? But he texted me back, so I was like, cool. But I wrote it as, this is Minister PJ. And then little by little, I said to myself, I'm not gonna call him during the hours of work. I'm gonna call him at the hours like on a weekend. So I started, hey, how you doing? How's everything? And then, okay, everything good. And he responded back. So as time went on, he knew who was Minister PJ because he's heard 640 Spur, right? Sports. So he knew what was up. So he knew, oh yeah, all right, I heard you call the station before. He knows how the business goes. So one time when they were in transitioning from 97.3 to 97.9, they were going from one station to the other. There was a group of people who was trying to bring them back here to Palm Beach because they went down to Miami.
Gotcha.
And I did a Vine video, dude. I'm at the time I'm in my 30s. I'm a grown man. All these kids are doing Vine videos. I'm like, okay, let me try this. I just wanted to, like I said, I was experimenting with different social media to see what was gonna be good for me, what might fit, you know, what was gonna work for me. And so basically, I did a Vine video, and I like, bring the KVJ show back, you know, that's what's up. So if you notice, everything that I write is that's what's up. That's my key phrase. That's my trademark. So basically, there was this. I won't mention any names because it's been a while that I've contacted these people, and I don't want them to come back at me and say, you know what I'm saying? Of course. But there was this one person who reached out to me, and they're like, listen, we're gonna have an organization together, like a little group, like a fan-based group. I want you to be a part of it. I was like, I bet, you know, that's what's up. The news media, the whole night. So I'm thinking like, wow, this is gonna be great. I love the show already, so now I get to help them out. Even better. So it worked out in my favor. So one day I took a picture next to Captain America, and I had my wrestling mask. And a friend of mine, her name is Jemmy, she goes, "Whoa, Captain KVJ." And I was like, "What?" So she came up and she said, "I'm gonna do a Twitter page for you." And I never had a Twitter page. She put it. Within a week, I already had like 1,000 followers. Just like every day was getting like 100 here, 100 there, blah blah blah. And then by the time, oh, that works. Then I called Kevin. I said, hey, I'm putting KVJ on this mask. What color? He told me the colors that he liked. I put it together, and then that was the birth of Captain KVJ. Then they had a segment called Weird Wednesdays, and that's what they put me in to do a segment on Wednesday mornings where I would go dress up. I would be in the corner, any corner here in Palm Beach County. I could be in Broward. I could be up in St. Lucie County, and dressed up as a weirdo. I could have I could have a firefighter hat with like a chicken suit on with a baseball bat, and then you have to say, well, I see this guy, and oh, that's Captain KVJ. He's on the corner of so and so and so, and you win tickets. So I did that for I think like 3 years, and little by little they started using me more and more until I started doing. Jay Burr already had this group called the Snack Pack, and then he added me to the group, and I became a hype guy. Now they rap, they do everything. I don't rap, I don't sing, nothing. I can't even carry a note, but I'm a hype guy.
Right.
So I got my character with my mask. I wear a luchador mask. It says the KVJ. I got a cape and the whole 9 yards, and I go out there and I make people laugh and I hype people up. And that's how the KVJ show started. And because of that, the company that owned that station saw something in me. And then they offered me a job. And that's where I'm at today. And now not only that I work for 97.9, but like I said earlier, all these other stations I work for.
Bro, it's so crazy, right? Because we want to talk about those what if questions, right?
Yeah.
You know, what if you weren't persistent, right? What if you didn't have vision? What if you didn't try to follow a passion?
Yeah.
Right? You wouldn't be here today.
No.
Because it all started with you just throwing mud onto the wall and just seeing what stuck.
Yeah.
Trial and error, you know, being willing to fail, being willing to be told no.
Exactly.
Being willing to face rejection and still move forward.
Yeah.
Right? And not everybody can do that. I would say most people probably can't do that.
Right.
And Jay, for you, I don't know if I could have done that. You know, that's a lot of effort. That's a lot of mental fortitude to be able to be told no time and time and time again and still stay persistent.
Right.
How did you do that? How did you do that?
The passion, the love. It was the love. I just loved doing it. It was like it's like somebody who loves animals. Just because you don't work at the zoo and getting paid for it, that doesn't mean you any less if you volunteer at the shelter with the animals. You know, it's still your passion. You don't tell me you don't love the animals because I don't have a paycheck and I don't work at the zoo. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So basically it was for the love. Everything that I did because I loved it. Because at the end of the day, I could say I did it. And I'm happy. And in the little attention that I got, I cherished it. And I said, you know what? Those 5 followers that I have, I love you guys. And you know, I had that one follower, that one person that made my day would say, oh my God, you did great. You put a smile on my face. You know, I was depressed. I was all this, and you made me laugh. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. And like I said, I wasn't making no money. I was broke. But on the inside, I was happy. I was like, you know what? Now how about how much you gonna get paid? No, you gotta start somewhere.
Yep.
And that's the problem these days with a lot of, I'm not saying the young, I'm not saying the old, I'm middle-aged man. People my age, they think, oh, I'm gonna do this and in 6 months I'm gonna make money. No, man, you know, you gotta do what you love to do before you make any money, because if you're doing something and you don't love it, I don't care how much money you make, you gotta be miserable. You gotta be miserable. You gotta be oh yeah, I'll make 6 figures. All right, are you happy? Are you happy? You enjoy getting up in the morning and doing what you gotta do? No, I bet you know. You know, but then you talk to somebody else, they living paycheck to paycheck. But they happy. And that's the way I was. And now I could see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's worth it. And if I could help out somebody else to get where I'm at today, I'll take my shirt off my back and I'll give it to you, knowing that you're gonna reap what I sowed.
My goodness.
You know?
And listen, I'll tell you what, we need more people like that. We need more people to be like you, Jay, who are willing to give, you know, for people to follow, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, you know, I just don't feel like there's people that are willing to stop for a second and bring somebody along to help somebody.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And, you know, Jay, for you, say there's somebody coming up, right, that watches this, right, and they want to ask you, Jay, what's one thing that I should do, or what's one thing that I can do to get a foothold, to start to enter maybe the radio world, or the TV world,
right,
or the acting world, which we'll get to in a little bit. Where would I start? What's one thing that you would say to somebody like that who's trying to replicate you, who's trying to be like you in a sense?
Right. Don't listen to the haters. Don't listen to the haters, and be careful who you tell your dream to. Don't go around telling people what you're gonna do, because out of the 10 friends that you have, only 2 of them are real with you. All the other 8, and deep down inside, they're gonna hate you for one thing or the other, and they're gonna bring you down and say that's stupid. That doesn't. Why you gonna do that? Look at your age. You too young or you too old. What makes you think that you're gonna be where, let's say, Oprah's gonna be? Hey, Oprah started something. She started from the bottom. Oh, what makes you think you're gonna be like a Will Smith? Hey, if you don't try, you never know. But you're always gonna have those haters. So I always tell people, listen, make up a 5-year plan. I always say 5 years. Give yourself a 5-year plan. Say, this is what I'm gonna do. But keep it to yourself. The less people know what your plans is, the less they could come and try to steer you the other way. You just keep it real to yourself. And as long as you're happy and you know what you have to do, like you said, trial and error, you get to where you want to be. But that's the first thing I'll tell you. Be careful who you tell. Even family. Even family. Because sometimes I have a great supporting family. But there was times when my family looked at me and said, Jay,
are you sure?
Yeah, exactly. You need to make that money.
That's a nice way of saying we don't think you're doing the right thing.
Right.
Are you sure?
You should. Like, relax. Like, I don't know, I don't know if this is gonna work out for you in the long run. It's gonna bite you in the butt. But I had to do it for me. Because then in the long run, like I said before, then I'm gonna be like, I can't believe that so and so in my family told me not to do it. I didn't do it, and I'm gonna be regretting it for the rest of my life. So I would say, don't tell nobody. Do what you gotta do. But like I said, for every 10 person that you tell, there's only 2 people that are gonna keep it real with you.
Now, let me ask you this. How long did it take you to learn that?
I'm gonna tell you, man.
Because I know that doesn't. You don't wake up with that. You get that through experience.
I want to say in the 10 years that I took a hiatus, I want to say that I've had people, because there was times that I talked about it, and I've had people tell me, you're too old. This is a young generation now. What they gonna look at you for? Your people in your generation they're not interested in that stuff. So I'm talking about like family members, blood, best friends, people I grew up with. You get discouraged. And so I realized when I got into it and I started really rolling with it, I've had people come and say, come on, man, make money, do something, go back to school, do this, do that. They wanted me to live their life. If you're miserable with your life, don't bring me down. Just because you made a mistake and you're regretting it now and you don't want to see somebody my age do it, come on, man. So I learned from hard way, me doing stuff or me telling people this is my ideas, and they go around and they change the ideas and they're making their own. That's happened to me. I've told people I'm planning on doing this. Wow. 6 months down the line, you're like, didn't I tell you? It happened to me back in the day. I was in my 20s. It was a big thing of car clubs. So I wanted, man, I'm gonna do a car club and I'm gonna name it Soldiers for Christ. And I had the letters and everything, and I remember I went to this card place and I put the sticker on, and I started telling a friend of mine who I thought was a friend about the ideas that I had. Well, he turned around and copyright what I never copyrighted. I never had any rights to the name. And he went and he did it behind my back, and then he started making a club. And at that time I was like maybe like 23, 24 years old. But I go back and think about things like that, like, wow, I gotta be careful how I speak to people and tell people my plans, because they'll come and they'll steal it or underneath you and run with it. It's just in the nature of people. I'm not perfect. I've hurt people along the way. Not intentionally. I didn't say, I'm gonna hurt that person. But then go back and I'm like, wow, why did I make that move? Why did I do that? It benefited me, but they got hurt in the long run. So it goes both ways. Something you got to think about before you do. Your actions, it goes a long way. And sometimes, like, I'm a type of person, I have a conscience. So I don't like to step over nobody to get where I want to go. I want to say to myself, I came here because I did it because I did it the right way, not because I stabbed you in the back and I took that person and I'm not like that, man.
And that must be tough.
Yeah,
To be blessed and cursed with a conscience.
Yeah.
To be blessed and cursed with character and the backbone.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's just be real. A lot of people are not like you, Jay. A lot of people are more than willing to throw somebody under the bus to get to where they want to go.
Yeah.
More than willing to destroy somebody's life, figuratively or literally.
Yeah.
To get to where they want to go.
Yeah.
And you know, a wise man once told me, you know, it's always easier to tear down somebody else's house than to build your own.
Yeah.
And that's what you see nowadays. You know, it's. You know, I'm never going to be somebody that's going to destroy somebody's dreams. I'll never tell somebody no. But not a lot of people are like that, though.
No.
You know?
And I'm going to tell you one thing. For those people out there who are thinking, like, I'm going to use this person to get where I want to go, what goes around comes around. And what happens is you got to do that to that person, and eventually somebody's going to do it to you. So think about before you go to burn somebody, because eventually down the line you're going to get burned. That's just the way life is. You know, I've seen it so many times. I've seen people come and like, because I move out of the way, you got that position. Now you at where I wanted to be. I'm not hating on you, but now you realize that when you got all that pressure now, because you up there, because you didn't earn it, you didn't work for it, you just stole it. So you're not gonna cherish it like somebody like me, that I'm gonna take care of it because it's my baby. Like you said, they build a house. Just because you go in there and you paint the house and you put the curtains doesn't mean you're the architect and build it. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
It's just one of those things, you know. So you're not gonna cherish it like I am. That I basically laid down the foundation, did what I had to do. But there's haters out there who's gonna come and take that away from you and make it their own. And it never works out. 9 times out of 10, it never works out. You're gonna be miserable. And I've seen it happen in the radio business, in acting business. In general, in life, I've seen that happen. You know, I'm 44 years old. I got a lot of stories. I have a lot of friends that basically burned each other and where they are today. They still living with mommy and daddy. I'm dead serious. Back home in the Bronx, you know who I'm talking to. You always say, I'm gonna get out this situation. I'm getting out the block. I'm gonna move down to Florida. I'm moving out of state. But then when you go on vacation, which I'll go on vacation, what were you doing? You were back home in the corner stores, hanging out, doing the same thing that we did when we were 17. And you, how old? 42, 43 years old? Wake up and smell the coffee, because tomorrow's not promised to you. Remember that.
And that's, you know, if there is a couple of things to live by, I think that's one of those things. Tomorrow is promised to nobody. You know, we're here today, we're gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, it's hard to understand that mentality, right? Where I'll do it tomorrow, right? I'll make a plan tomorrow. Why not make the plan right now? Why not do that thing you want to do right now?
Right.
And that's why I commend you, Jay, because you've had that mentality from the very beginning. It's evident, it's clear, right? In your story, it all came from hard work and not taking a moment for granted.
Right.
There was probably many days where you were doing, you know, your road determination job, right? Where you didn't want to call. Right. Or you would have been like, bro, this is gonna count to nothing, bro. I can miss one day, I'm good. No, because if you missed that one day, you would have missed another day, you would have missed another.
Yep.
And you wouldn't be here now.
No, exactly. And there's always somebody that's gonna try to take your spot.
Always.
So the minute that you slide over and get comfortable, somebody else is coming and taking your slot. Same thing at my job. If I slack off, somebody's gonna come and do it 10 times better than I will. I'm just being realistic, because they hungry and I'm not. I burn, the fire burn. I always gotta keep that fire burning and knowing, so, you know, there's a line behind me waiting behind that door that they could open up and they're gonna take my spot. You know, and then if you go and you look at paper, you say, wow, these people went to Harvard, these people went over here and they got TV communications and all that. Well, I got a certificate. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, that's like you going ahead and be like, yo, I'm a therapist too. Oh, really? I'm a massage. You know what I'm saying? I work right here in the corner store, you know, $5 an hour. I massage your shoulders. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
You know, you go, you know, you see a guy be like, you know, I'm not knocking anybody that does that. I'm not saying that. I'm just putting, you know, that one guy, you know, hey, you know, I'm a police officer. Yo, word, you police officer. And when you look, he's not even an armed guard. You know, but a police officer went to school, did what he had to do to become a police officer. But you're taking his glory, same thing here. You know, there's always somebody there to try to come and knock you down and try to take your spot. And you gotta, I'm always thinking they gotta be better. They gotta have that resume like this and be like, yo, I work for Tyler Perry Studios. And okay. So you always gotta be in your game, man, because you never know who's behind that door, bro. Always.
Now let me ask you this, Jay. Now how do you stay frosty, right? How do you stay sharp? How do you consistently wake up every day knowing that there's somebody there who wants to take your spot and you don't allow it to happen?
I'm myself. I'm keeping it real. And like I said, I'm not trying to burn anybody. And I believe that if you treat people the way you want to be treated, that's the way you're gonna receive that back. So I treat people the way they want to be. If you try to treat me, I'm a type of person. If you're gonna treat me with an attitude, I might give you a little attitude, but then I'm gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna stay away from you. You see what I'm saying? I'll just stay away. It's not worth me trying to tell you anything because I'm not gonna stoop down to your level.
Of course.
So every day I wake up and knowing that there's somebody that could come and take my spot, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna bust my butt. I'm gonna get to work early and work my way like half hour later, and you know, I do my thing, man. I just do it with a cheerful heart, man. Knowing that if one door closes for me, I already have this journey that I know for a fact that another door will open up for me. But I pay my dues though. I pay my dues, I got to. Because I'm not waking up scared. If somebody comes takes my spot and they tell me tomorrow you gotta go, okay. It's good on my resume. I'm gonna go. Somebody else will pick me up. I'm already known. You know? But if I didn't try, I would have never been where I'm at. And at least I could say, hey, I got that underneath my belt.
Now, do you think, where does that confidence come from, right? Where does that supreme confidence in yourself come from? Does that come from the fire to get to this point? Does that come from all those trials and tribulations and you putting your foot to the pavement and going and getting that?
All of that. All of that. It comes from all of that. It comes from the fire. It comes from all the hard work. It comes from the, tears, from me being broke, from me having my lights, like just in the middle of the day, like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, boom, I don't have enough money for the light bill, but I'm still fighting. And I got a call, sibling, hey, they just turned on my lights. And then that's when you get the, oh, come on, let go of the entertainment. But it's funny because they'll push you and say, go for it. And then when something happens, they'll say, okay, relax, take it easy. But they see the fire in you, so they just let it be. It's like when you were a kid, your parents say, don't do that again, but they know you're gonna do it again. You know what I'm saying? And they just let you be, and they know, okay, but he has to learn, he's gotta pinch his fingers. We already told him like 5 times. Hey. But as time goes on, as a kid, for a fact, you gotta close a drawer, you're not gonna pinch your fingers. And so it's like, I've learned that, you know what I'm saying? And then to the point where now I could at least say that my siblings could look at me and say, man, I remember when he used to call me when his lights used to go out, or he needed rent money or something like that. Because there was times that I struggled, being in this business, it wasn't cutting it,
Right.
And a lot of people will be like, I'm giving up, but I just knew that there was something there that I didn't want to regret. And like I said, I gave myself a 5-year plan. 5 years. So after the 5 years, if it would have been like, okay, every other month my lights are being turned off and every 6 months I don't have the rent money or this and that, I would have been like, you know what, I tried it, but it's not working out. Now let me go to the workforce and just do whatever I gotta do out there full time, and I don't even worry about entertainment. But I did it, and look, it worked out.
I'll tell you what, your journey is not one for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
Not even close, right? Because it's like you had said, there's not many people that can handle those kinds of ebbs and flows over a long period of time, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't like it was 6 months or just a year of hardship. No, the entertainment business, it's constant uncertainty.
Yeah.
Constant uncertainty, constant. Where is it going to come from next, right?
Right.
Where is that bill going to get paid from, right?
Yeah.
Where is my next gig going to be? Am I going to walk into somebody replacing me tomorrow? You see that in any time you're in the workforce. That's always a constant battle, right?
Right.
If somebody's signing your checks, you're replaceable.
Yeah.
Always. It don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
That's why people who are self-employed are the most powerful people in the world.
Right.
Because they sign their own checks. They cash out on themselves every single day. But
yeah,
people like us in the workforce, we can be replaced.
Mm-hmm.
And it's scary.
Yeah.
But if you can look at it with the right mentality, right, you can be a beast now.
Yeah.
You can be an absolute beast. And speaking of which, now, this dude, talk about entertainment. You are Cedric Entertainer. Cedric the Entertainer. You just reincarnate. You're his cousin. Now, yeah, I know we were talking about acting, right?
Yeah.
Acted as a child.
Yeah.
Acting as an adult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's kind of transition there because that's a interesting journey too. You were kind of giving me bits and pieces about that too. Now, in terms of your acting career, did that branch off of radio? Did that come before radio?
That came before radio. I was doing acting before the radio.
Okay.
The radio thing came, like I said, it was an accident when I called that one time and it just hit. But the acting started way before that. Me doing plays, and just basically through word of mouth. I went to school for TV production, so you have a lot of people coming out there to use the equipment, and you get to know people. And this person's working on this project; they're looking for an extra, and that's how it started in my journey when it comes to acting. I started doing, movies for school, film festivals and stuff like, little stuff here and there just to get noticed. And as time went on, my first official movie, it was Gary Davis. He was a director and the producer and the writer of this movie. And basically it's called She's a Spy. She is a Spy. And this was like the mid-90s. And it was filmed here in Palm Beach. And I played like a bad guy. I had a small role in it. I get beat up in the movie, the whole 9 yards. And that was my first taste of, okay, now I did drama. I never did drama in school, but I did plays. I would audition for plays and get plays, church plays, plays in school, the whole 9 yards, you name it, I was there. And that was my first movie. And I had a small part. And then after that, I was going to school and I was doing, like I said, TV production. And I started doing camera work for Florida Championship Wrestling because they would come and use the equipment at the studio.
Gotcha.
But they would use the students because they figured, okay,
they're cheaper.
Exactly. We independent wrestling, so what's the best way to get somebody to edit, do camera work, and we don't have to pay you guys, but you have experience. And so basically, that's how it worked out for me. I remember, I was there. I was editing. I was doing some videos, and it was for class. And I see this big buffed up lady come in, and I'm like, look up, and I said, man, she looks familiar. And I was like, yo, who's that? And they were like, oh, that's Luscious Liz. I was like, Liz Chase, the wrestler. I was like, oh, shoot. First thing I did, I'll go up to you. That's me. I'm like, hey, how you doing? My name is Jay. People love that. Like, oh, how you doing, Jay? And I learned in this industry sometimes to come across and be something real. Be yourself. Be yourself. Come up to somebody. Like if I would meet an actor, which I've met lots of actors, I never go crazy and be like, oh my God, I saw you in this movie. Hey, how you doing? How's everything? Nice to see you. And be polite. They humans just like us. But if you go up to them and you start talking to them about, like, I saw you in this movie, you gotta be like, oh. They only want an autograph. Right. They see dollar signs and they want to chill with you because they gotta get you places that other people can't. You know what I'm saying? So I treated her with respect and everything, and then she offered right then. She was like, "You do camera work?" I said, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh, we have an event." It was like a week later. On Sunday we have a. I said, "Oh, great." The school would allow you to take the equipment out to do projects. So that's how they used to do it. And then she signed up to go to school there to do TV production. So on top of it, she was already on the inside. Right. And I started doing camera work for them and everything and the whole 9 yards. So then I got that part in the movie while I was doing that, and it worked out. And now Florida Championship Wrestling, now a lot of people don't know, it's NXT. And I go back and say, I worked for that company years ago, and it was small. It was independent. It was before Vince McMahon ever bought the rights to it. And they used to do local shows here in South Florida, and it was always on the weekends. the weekend warriors, you know, they would come out, they 9 to 5, working at lawyer's office, dentist and all that, come out and then they lace up the boots on the weekends and wrestle. Just to make a name for themselves. And I was doing a name, I was behind. So then they used to pay their camera guys, not much, maybe $25 a gig. I didn't want to get paid.
$25.
$25 a gig at that time. It was like you make it or whatever, you know. And here's $25, you know. You film, you're there for like hours just filming. And so doing that, doing the wrestling, I was like, I don't want to get paid. I want to get trained to wrestle. And then, what? Are you kidding me? And say, yeah, I want to wrestle. And that's what I did. So I got articles of the Palm Beach Post. I was on Channel 10 News, Channel 12 News, the whole 9 yards. And I was known as the Puerto Rican Prince, Papa J. Yeah, and I used to go out there and I started training with them. So at the same time, I'm training with them on a weekly basis. And on top of that, I was working for Publix. I'm working for Publix. I'm going to school, working for Publix part-time, learning how to wrestle and doing camera work. That's what I was doing, just to make it, just to make it, and to have that underneath my belt. And that's what I did for the longest time. And then after that, you know, you fall in love. And I got away from it for, like I said, 10 years. Yeah. And then, you know, you start thinking that, like I said, that pep talk that my father had with me opened up my eyes and said, I don't want to regret it. You know, why I'm gonna regret it. I'm gonna be his age, thinking back like, oh man, I could have been filming a WrestleMania. I could have been on WrestleMania thing. I could have been making a movie, like working with these people and that people. But if I don't try, I would never know. And so that's how that started when it came to that there, you know. And then I just started little local commercials, started doing local businesses. They needed actors. So I would be extras. I would always volunteer. I don't care what it was. You want me to walk on the street? I was walking on the street as an extra. You know? You want me to sweep the floor? I'm going to sweep the floor. You want me to throw out the garbage? I'm going to throw out the garbage. Whatever you needed to do for me to be an extra in that movie, I'm going to be an extra in the movie. Right. How much you paying the extras? Yo, I don't work for money. Oh, really? Oh, we like this guy. You know, and that's how it worked. You just, I was giving my services for free just to make my resume. And so there's a lot of commercials. Like I could be like, oh my God, like sometimes I find them on YouTube, which I'll find them, I'll send them to you. And I'm in the background and I'm doing nothing. I'm just making believe I'm buying a car. You know? And I also had opportunities that I regret now. Like there was this movie they filmed here in Lake Worth, and it was with Tony Danson, and it was a baseball movie. I forgot the name of it, and they were looking for extras and all that stuff. And I remember one of my teachers said, they filmed me, they looking for extras, go. And I said, I'll go tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never came, because by the time tomorrow, when I went the next day, it was already filled, and they already had filmed the part that they needed extras. And I could have had so many opportunities. Another time, I was an extra on the TV show The Glades. It was on I forgot the channel, but anyways, it was filmed here in Florida. And how that happened was I was doing pest control at this one facility, and I see all these camera people, and I'm like, what? And they're like, all right, everybody off the set, blah, 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 blah. But I had permission to be there because I'm the pest control guy for that. It was a country club down south.
Gotcha.
So I had permission to be there because that was my scheduled date, but there was this one section I couldn't get through. So I remember I saw the director and I recognized him. So I went up to him and I said, hey, how you doing? He said, hey, I'm doing good. So we started talking about bugs. And he goes, you know what? I got a place down in Miami, man. He goes, do you mind going down there and spraying for me? And I was like, no, I don't. So I said, well, now that we're talking, you know, I'm an actor. And he looked at me like, here we go.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Okay. Damn. So story short, he's like, all right, you gotta go, you know, you go walk with these people in the background. And I remember I was like, great. I did it. And I'm an extra in the background in one episode.
Yeah,
but I had to do what I had to do just to get in it. But that, you know, little things like that people be like looking at you like, you dumb. Stupid, that doesn't make any sense. It makes sense because if, you know, You gotta wet your feet. You gotta do something. You gotta open up those doors. You know what I'm saying?
You never know.
You gotta put that. If the door's gonna close on you, take your foot and put it up and let that door smash your foot to keep that door open somehow. You know what I mean? Because you never know. I don't like to close no doors because you never know in the long run who you might need. That's what I was talking about earlier about burning people. You never know who you might have to call and say, hey, I need a favor. I know I haven't talked to you, but this is my plan. Can you help me out? What's the worst thing they're gonna say? No. Okay, no problem. At least you tried and said, okay, check. You know, I can't deal with them, you know. See what I'm saying? So the acting career started with that, and then with the KVJ show, they do a lot of independent films and everything, and every single movie that they've done since they've been at 97.9, I've been in every movie that they've played. I play detective. I've got murdered in the movies and the whole 9 yards. So it's pretty awesome, man. I'm blessed, man. I got no complaint. Now I got 2 movies this coming year that I have parts in. One of them is for the KVJ show, for Halloween, and then the other one is gonna start the end of November. The one that I was telling you about. Yeah. All Children Go to Heaven, and I just got an email yesterday stating that they have they're gonna start shooting in November. So it's a go, which is good, and I've been waiting on that one now for about a year. Yeah, you tell me about that. For about a year, and it's been like every time we gotta do something, you know, due to the COVID, you know, we can't film. You know, they follow the guidelines of Hollywood. So if Hollywood wasn't working and filming, they weren't gonna film me in South Florida. But now that Hollywood is open again, and we good now. So it's all good because now this is gonna be. I don't want to, you know, name names. But what I've heard, you know, Netflix is looking at it, and like people like Tyler Perry Productions is looking at it. So it went from like an independent thing to like an independent up here. It's like wow,
like a top tier,
and that's like, you know, patience, man.
And that just goes to show you, man. Like you said, you never know, right?
Yeah.
I think the people who don't make it in life are the people that think, bro, sweeping a floor, that's below me, right? That's the one thing I'm picking up with you, Jay. There's nothing that was below you because you saw the vision and you understood, hey, even though this might be insignificant now, if you do seemingly insignificant things over the course of years, it's gonna lead up to one big thing at the end.
Yeah.
You right now.
Right.
And you're still not where you want to be.
No.
Right? We're still growing. We're still evolving. And now that you are where you are, what's the vision going forward? What's the goal now? What's the next thing we're attacking? Because I know you're moving. So
no, I'm moving. Right now, I'm doing this YouTube thing, and it's not like I said. I help out people. So I'm not taking the credit for this channel. It's called DarkWatersTV. DarkWatersTV. And basically, I don't take the credit for nothing because I have nothing. The only thing I'm doing is promoting it right now. But like I was talking, his name is Keith. Keith, what's up, brother? Or like I was telling Keith the other day, my vision is I see this channel blowing up. And I jumped on it at a time where Keith needed some help. I don't know this guy. Like I never met him in person. But I stepped out of faith and said, you know, I'm gonna take this channel and I'm gonna help him out as much as I can.
Right.
And now the channel is growing. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm seeing that. He's even seeing the fruit of it, you know? You always need that team behind you to push you. You always need somebody to help you out because you can't do it on your own. You can't do everything on your own. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm helping him out now. And what I see myself in the next 5 years, here we go with a 5-year plan.
I love it.
Is basically be on that show, on Dark Waters TV, and it's a paranormal show, and basically be on a network. I want to take that YouTube channel, and my vision is to bring it to a network so I can help my buddy out, Keith. He's my buddy now, but I didn't know him like. He reached out to me just to promote his channel. I took it. I like what I saw, and I'm helping him out. You know, and it's great. You know, so hopefully, you know, you could put the
link,
the link down below so that, you know, have people follow the whole 9 yards, subscribe.
Hey Keith, we gotta collaborate, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll collaborate, Keith.
Yeah, so basically, you know, that's why I see, that's one of my projects. Like right now is like, it's that's my baby right now. It's just helping out that channel. It's like my goal is like I'm like, okay, this is what I want. I see this, and I even told them, look, dude, those ideas, man, that you have, they gotta go far. And sometimes we need people just to remind us, hey, that idea you have, go for it. Don't sleep on it. I see a vision right there, and I see that. So I'm working on that right now. Like I said, I got those 2 up and coming projects this year alone, and still working in the radio business. I mean, that's the one thing anybody could tell you at my job. I don't treat it like a job. I treat it like a family. I treat it like it's my baby. I'm there with a cheerful heart. I walk in with a smile. No matter how bad I have it at my job, I'm always, and it's not bad at all. I'm just saying, if I have, you know, everybody has those days.
Of course.
You know, those low points in your day, or, you know, I just do it, and I know for a fact that I do it because I love it. I treat it like a family member. You might not agree with your siblings, but they still your siblings in the long run. You might not agree with your neighbor, but he's still gonna be your neighbor. Make the best out of it. You might not see eye to eye, but you know what? Think about it. What's separating you is just that wall. You still gotta bump into him or her when you walk out there. You know what I mean? Little stuff, man. You just so I see myself in 5 years going to the next plateau, to the next level. You know, to the point where I mean, it's just so. Like I said, I'm a type of person that I like to work on things before I start splashing them out.
Of course.
You know, and so basically in 5 years, man, don't sleep on me, because I'm gonna be somewhere. You know, it's gonna be awesome, bro.
Come on, man. And then you wanna know what's so crazy? You know, sometimes when you talk to people and you ask them, you know, what's your vision? You know, what do you see? Even though I've never been a person to say you can't do it, you can just feel it, right? You can feel it sometimes. When somebody's telling you about a dream, about a vision, and they have no passion, no fire, no heart behind it, you can feel it, right? It's like when somebody's inorganic on the radio. I'm sure you see it all the time.
Yeah.
Or when somebody's playing a part, right? And that's not you.
Right.
That's not you. No, you can just feel it, right? Bro, I see it, bro. I can feel it.
Yeah.
I can feel it, man. You've the hardest parts behind you, bro.
Yeah.
You've the experiences that you've had, the things that you've been through have set you up for this. You just keep put one foot in front of the other, bro.
That's it.
And it's gonna be right there, bro.
That's it, kid.
Oh,
man. That's what I'm talking about,
man.
bro.
Come on, bro.
You know what I'm saying? I agree with it, man. I agree with you, man. You know, and that's anybody out there that needs help, you can always look me up and everything. Ask me questions. I'm always here. You know, you can find me on Facebook, Captain KVJ. You find me on Instagram, you know, and you just always could DM me on Instagram. So you need any help, you want advice or something, or you're looking for people to help you out with projects, or you looking for actors or anything, I'm your man right here.
Hey,
you know.
But alrighty, y'all. That was it. Man, I'll tell you what, that was loaded, bro.
That was dope. You know,
that was loaded. But guys, take up Jay, right? When he says that stuff, he's not messing around. He's dead serious. So if you guys are looking for help, you guys have questions, please hit him up. I'll put all his information in the bio of the channel, you know, and I'll put all the information in the link of this video too. So don't be afraid to use him. Yeah, that's now a resource that y'all just gained, a resource that I gained as well, and I'm gonna use him in the future. But guys, I appreciate you so much, Jay. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome, man.
I know you worked hard to get this into your schedule, so I appreciate you, bro, for real.
Anytime.
Thank you. And guys, we will see you guys on the next episode of The Sit Down. But until then, we'll see you later.
All right, that's what's up.
Bro, that's what's up.